This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz podcast.
It's funny seeing you both here together like this after what happened the last time we were all here together.
Right. What happened?
Are you talking to Tony and Amin?
I am talking to Tony and
in a
Amin.
weird way, yeah.
What happened?
2 weeks ago, Tony and Amin were here at the Clevelander in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a nice conversation one Thursday after the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was eating tortilla chips.
Oh, I love a good tortilla.
We were too. The guac was good.
Oh, my God.
One got lodged in my throat, as tortilla chips often do.
Well,
The pointy end sometimes goes down sideways.
Very shardy.
you don't chew it well before allowing that?
With a D. Shardy with a D.
Yes, very shardy. I did chew it, Dan. It got stuck in my throat in between my windpipe and my vocal cords.
Oh, no.
I
wedged.
was coughing for about 15 minutes. I couldn't
Give or
breathe.
take.
Welcome to the club.
Once I was able to start breathing again, I couldn't speak. My voice was gone. This tortilla chip destroyed my vocal cords somehow. In the meantime,
I've never heard of this. I've heard of liquid going down the wrong pipe. I have not heard of food getting lodged in the wrong pipe.
well, it went down the wrong pipe apparently, and it was in the middle of a conversation with Tony and Amin. And 15 minutes later, when I was finally able to breathe and speak again, they were still having their conversation.
Wow.
And neither of them, even as I was coughing and saying,
no.
I'm joking,
No.
did anything for me.
I thought you said you were joking.
Yeah, me too. And we were building out Tummy Ache City at that point.
Yes, that's what it was.
That's what it was. We were building out Tummy Ache City.
Who plays what role? Who's the mayor?
Yeah.
Who's the law enforcement? Who's the organized crime in Tummy Ache City?
You were the mayor of Tummy Ache City that day.
What'd you come up with? How does Tummy Ache City work?
Well,
I think Tums was one of the crime bosses.
Yes.
And Alka-Seltzer was the rival crime boss.
yes.
Wow.
And then like Salsa was like the chief of police.
Wouldn't like Alka-Seltzer be like emergency services in Tummy Ache
No.
City?
Tummy Ache City.
Tummy Ache City, they want tummy aches.
Yes.
Right, correct.
Like if you
It's
get
like
rid of
Gotham.
the tummy aches, it's not Tummy Ache City
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Alka-Seltzer sounds like the mayor.
No. It's a crime boss. Because
okay.
Because if you clean up all the tummy aches, guess what? It's not Tummy Ache City anymore. So it has to be the opposite, right? If you're trying to eliminate the tummy aches, you are the villain in this case. And so Alka-Seltzer and Tums, those are the two big crime bosses.
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So like Imodium would be the Joker, not like Batman?
Yes.
God, now you're
Yes.
Now you get it.
Why?
Because-
Pepto is like the corrupt police officer who's on the take.
Yes.
KO
definitely.
Pectate. What about them?
Looks like should give you a tummy ache, doesn't give you a tummy ache.
Kaopectate.
Not surprising to anyone, Billy just emerged from under his desk with Imodium flashed at me. In any
there it
case,
is.
all that runs
the
is his mouth.
It's like a meeting of the
five
crime
families.
bosses. Yeah, the five families.
I know you got family somewhere in there.
Godfather over here.
He's got
Where
Alka-Seltzer.
were those the other night when you had the
When you had a
one-way
Tummy Ache
ticket
City,
to Tummy
yeah.
Ache City?
I got that yesterday on my way in. I bought these. I stopped at the CVS and I'm like, I need something.
When you went in there, they said, "I'm gonna give you an offer you can't."
How many?
Inconsiderate colleagues did Jessica have too?
All of
here, hold
them.
on, hold
I
on.
was
Hold on.
literally
Considerate colleagues.
choking and
Don't give
saying
up Pepto.
I'm choking, and no one did anything.
No, because I saw it. I saw it happen. I saw it take place.
Yes,
She
you
was
saw
to my.
it. We were like
to my
literally
9.
next to each other.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
She was to my 9.
Yeah, she was to my 9.
Jesus.
And I saw it happen, and I was like,
Yeah.
What are
was
you,
like-
a sniper?
No, but in Tony's
Marine
defense,
yes, I am actually. By the
in
way.
Tony's defense, okay?
Thank you, Billy.
Like when you go and you take kids, Greg can tell you, Greg's had children that you take to swim class, whatever. Sometimes, and I think Andre Dawson, the Hawk, came on and he even told us, sometimes you just toss the kid right in the water.
Yeah,
And that's how you figure it out. So maybe that's what they were doing. They're like, you know what? Jess
Sink or
needs
swim.
to figure this one out.
She's gonna figure it out exactly. There's a bit of Darwin's evolution. Like, is she gonna be the survival of the fittest? Is she gonna be like her species that continues, or is it gonna be the species that dies? I don't know. I'm not
Because
God.
you
I
guys
can't.
are
Is that how you feel about all preventable deaths? Because
Just
holy
saying.
shit.
Can't interfere. We can't interfere with what nature wants.
Jess, I
Exactly.
feel like you could have given yourself a self-Heimlich, and you didn't.
Lazy.
Wow.
Lazy Gen
Save
Z.
yourself.
Yeah.
Excuse
Instead,
me.
you
I
were
think we're
waiting for
mansplaining
the
death to you.
man to come to your rescue. I don't know what that's all about. I mean,
no.
Come on. Give yourself a
Self-Heimlich?
Yeah, do the self-Heimlich.
What is a self-Heimlich, Greg?
I don't know, but it feels like it should be a thing, doesn't it?
Demonstrate.
Run
You gotta
yourself into a
demonstrate.
couch. Yeah.
Dan looks like he's gonna
Like
kill
that.
you.
like that.
Wait,
It
how
was
do you
in
go?
my throat. It was like right here.
I misunderstood. We go like this.
Oh, that's got it.
He's been so good today that he's totally petered out. Like he's run out of gas for the last 90 minutes or so. He's barely been paying attention.
He hasn't coughed once today, though.
No,
Damn right.
Nah, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
I'm not even sure what gender stereotype he like threw at me that I needed a man to give me a Heimlich.
I was just
Like,
kidding.
Yes,
Felt like
there are
you-
only men in the room. If you haven't noticed, only men work here, Greg.
Billy,
Kristen poisoned me,
I don't
too.
think
Don't
they were
forget
there.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Only man's.
Only men in the building.
There you go.
Which one was worse? Hold on.
What?
what would possess you
Did you survive?
to say to Jessica as she was
Barely.
choking on a tortilla that she was waiting for men to rescue her who were talking about
was a joke.
Tummy Ache City?
Right. It was a joke. I do think I'm onto something, though, with the self-Heimlich.
Yeah.
There has to be a way to, you know...
You're in a panic. You're scared. You need the Heimlich specifically because someone else has to help you because you've been incapacitated.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
You
oxymoronic
invent-
to call it a self Heimlich. Those things can't coexist.
If you invent the self-Heimlich, you're onto something.
Greg,
That's
if
all
you
I'm
ever
saying.
go into cardiac arrest, I'm just going to say, better give yourself CPR.
Can right here, like
Well, that's cruel. This is a little harsh.
that's where Greg draws the
Better
line.
self-defibrillate.
I mean, seriously. If I had a paddle, I'd put it on myself.
Can I
No
hear
question
the
about that.
sound,
Oh, yeah.
please, that we wrestled away from ESPN of Bomani choking?
Welcome back to the right time. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Oh,
Excuse me. Help me. Oh, Jesus.
Welcome back to the right time with Bomani Jones here. We're going to be joined by Brian Windhorst, our insider at ESPN, here very shortly.
I'm good. Something got caught down my throat. Sorry about that, Brian. In the meantime, how do the Cavs not have a general manager right now?
Well, some would argue.
Whittingham, why are you jealous of Julian Edelman's podcast idea? What is his podcast idea?
In the meantime, so I'm mostly jealous of the name of the podcast. The concept itself is not necessarily revelatory. It's basically Julian Edelman and a comedian going through great games in sports history. And they're kind of chronicling them, and they're going to, talk to people who were involved. But the name of the podcast is Games with Names, meaning that it's like the catch, the comeback. Like it's just they're only going to talk about games that have been given a title, the LeBron block,
The Immaculate Reception.
the Immaculate Reception. But really, I think they started with the name Games with Names and worked from there.
How many are there? Are there enough to make this a podcast series that could go more than a year?
no.
Sure. No, there are. There are lots of
there?
great.
That's what I was
Lots
thinking.
of great games.
Short-lived
But
podcast.
that's how Basketball Illuminati was born. We came up with the name first, and then we're like, oh wait, what if we do this like from a conspiracy theory angle? That's how it happened. Real talk.
That's
Same with the Greg
should
Cody
not
show.
have admitted that.
Real talk.
To be fair to Julian Edelman, there are like 16 games of the century in college football. So that's at least like a year's worth of content.
He's laughing at his own joke. He is now
loves it.
saying, no, he is.
He loves it.
He's going to start coughing in a second because of how delighted he is with himself and his joke. That's how the Greg Cody show, featuring Greg Cody.
With featuring would be too wordy.
That's how the Greg Cody show, featuring Greg Cody.
Please.
That's how the
Little
Greg
respect, please.
Cody show, featuring Greg.
With. Not
Got-
featuring.
Got its start.
Thank you.
You have been terrible today and wonderful, at least in part, because you talked a lot. We basically emptied your tank in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't have the stamina anymore to go 3 straight hours totally engaged. You have been out of the show for about 65 to 70 minutes.
You're welcome.
I'm not. I wasn't here for that.
You have missed.
I waited for you, Roy.
I know you did.
You have missed one hell of a show, Roy. This show today has some epic reverberations because it's been one of the strangest things we've ever done around here. I'm still reeling from learning that Charles Bricker is still alive. I'm still reeling from the confusion of that phone call with Greg Cody. Your son's not here today.
Right.
Usually your son will mock you every time you air. He will be excessively cruel to you. Where is he on the content of this Bricker phone call? Does he have an opinion anywhere on like what our liability issues are because we have now aired somebody who's losing it or might not be Charles Bricker, that blasphemes against him as a misogynist and everything else?
Right. The only thing I asked him was, because it was so astoundingly strange, I said, how do we know that was Bricker? And he's like, as far as I know, they found out and they vetted and whatever. So I don't know. That's all I can say. I think I might want his number to get him on the Greg Cody show. Then again, probably not. So we'll see about that.
You got David on the Greg Cody show.
Who?
David. The one that runs God's Breath.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, God's Breath, right. I forgot about that.
Call him up, Billy. Let's see if we can let's see if we can call God's Breath. Where was it? In the Gulf Coast in Tampa? Let's see if we can call God's Breath and get David to finish this conversation.
I don't want to talk to him.
Why?
I don't want to join that place. That was the creepiest thing about talking to Bricker, is that he's trying to reel me into this place, sending vans to pick me up. Insane.
No. He didn't send a van.
I mean, he talked about a van driving in front of my house.
That's pretty crazy.
I actually looked out the window.
I'm sticking to I think he's losing it a little bit. This is someone who is not all.
Billy, try and get a hold of David. Let's see if we can get David to talk to Greg Cody, because it'll be funny and it'll make it even a little bit weirder. Just let's see let's see if there's a payoff in this anywhere that can be found.
You guys don't feel bad about this?
I'm not a part of it. So
Jess is not a part of it. Do you guys not feel bad about any of this? That like this old man we're taking advantage of for content?
Which
Cody?
one?
Oh, you guys piled on that one, didn't you?
I mean, can you tell me what's going on with Bronny? He's getting a lot of coverage. We are covering the son the way that we covered the father, and the son cannot be the father. The son...
Father, Son, God's Breath, Jesus at Red Rocks.
Can you tell me, Bronny, what kind of prospect he is? Because they were showing a lot of his dunks, or they were showing a dunk of his a number of times here as we cover his son the way that we covered him.
Well, Dan, you know, one thing I love about this show, our show, is when we do show synergy. Because this week on Basketball Illuminati, we dug deep on this. Actually, we talked about it for the first time a couple of weeks ago, how Bronny, who is a consensus top 50 prospect in the nation, has 0 college offers. And we thought, that's very strange. And we started going through what are some of the things he might be doing instead of going to college. And one of the things that we mentioned was maybe he's going to go the G League Ignite route. So
has he not committed to Oregon?
He hasn't talked to anybody. He hasn't had a single visit. He has 0 offers. So in the time since that episode dropped 2 weeks ago today, things happened, that dunk happened, and people are starting to talk about him again. And so Paul Biancardi, who's a recruiting expert over at espn.com, writes and says he doesn't have any offers, but it's still early in the process. Well, Tom Habistro did his own research and looked up of the top 100 prospects in the nation, the average number of offers they have going into the senior year, 15. The lowest number after Bronny's 0 is, I believe, the 98th player in the nation has 3 offers. And then a couple guys have 4. So this is highly irregular that a prospect who, regardless of what his name is, he's top 50 and he has 0 offers. And so we try to dig into that a little bit on Basketball Illuminati.
But are you embargoing the information on this? Are you telling me that Bronny is an overhyped stiff?
No. What I'm telling you is something weird is happening here. Because one would think even a school like Akron or Dayton would just throw one against the wall, like, hey, we offered, just to say, hey, we're the first ones to offer LeBron James Jr. a scholarship.
More than that, if you don't mind me interrupting, if you're a smaller publicity-seeking school, you would love to have LeBron James's son, even if he's not that good,
right?
Just for the publicity and the attention.
There was a lot of conversation about whether or not Bronny was going to enter the G League. Perhaps there was some conversation about, what if this is LeBron's way of maybe going to the league and saying, hey, how about we go back to players being eligible from 18 years of age as opposed to 19 years of age and getting rid of the player eligibility rules. And that now it seems as though he's entering the college recruiting process more formally. I saw that he was linked to the move to Oregon.
So LeBron tweeted,
and then LeBron clarified that
no,
we're not doing that just yet.
We're not doing anything. We haven't had a single visit. And so a lot of these rumors are coming out just to fill the space. But I'll tell you what, there is a case study right now in the G League. There's a player named Scoot Henderson, right? Scoot Henderson, one of the best prospects in the nation, didn't just forego his year of college. He forewent the past of forego?
Yes, go on.
He foregone his senior year of high school. He did his senior year of high school in the G League with the G League Ignite, and now he's doing his second year with the Ignite, and he'll be draft eligible at the end of this season. He's going to be a top 5 prospect in the NBA draft. So one of the things that we've been talking about on Basketball Illuminati is, what if Bronny's gearing up to do the same thing? He's going into his senior year of high school, screw it, going straight to the G League, going to the Ignite, be part of that program for a year. At the end of the year, what Chris just said, they might change the rule. They've had conversations. Adam Silver brought it up at the Board of Governors meeting last month in Las Vegas, that there is a push to change the age limit from 19 back down to 18. If that were the case, then Bronny would be draft eligible right now in 2023. And you say, what does it matter? I mean, why does it matter if he's 2024, 2023 draft eligible?
Yeah, play with LeBron.
LeBron's contract ends this season. This is his last season. People say, oh, he's going to sign an extension, but he hasn't yet. Why not? Well, if you're trying to figure out where my son's going to go.
Well, he said he wants to play with his son.
Well, he said he wants to play with his son, but specifically, we've all thought, well, the earliest that can happen is 2024, so he has to sign an extension in order to do this. But what if he doesn't? What if the rules change in the meantime and he's eligible in 2023 and LeBron is free in 2023 and now you can be a package deal?
Basketball Illuminati.
Third eye open.
Keep it open.
Well, and I think, if Bronny James is eligible that year, if you're saying, where is he now? He's a top 50 prospect there or thereabouts?
Yes.
What if that gets Bronny James overdrafted? Because if a team that says, I can go draft Bronny James and LeBron James, essentially, that you're signing LeBron to a one-year deal as a result of that player getting drafted, thus perhaps making Bronny James more money with his first rookie contract.
Let's play this fun game, guys. How high of a draft pick would you take Bronny James simply for the right to get LeBron James? How high, Dan? Are you going first round? Are you going lottery pick?
Oh, I'd give anything that's not a top 10 pick. Sure, if I could just get, and it depends on how much marketing if I'm not even interested in my team necessarily being good, I just need my team. I'll go higher than that if I just need my team to have a circus tent around it.
Can we play the game of what would be the funniest team to draft Bronny, and then LeBron has to play his final NBA season?
That'd be
Is
great.
it the Kings?
Sacramento.
I feel like it's
Sacramento.
the Kings.
The answer is always
There's
Sacramento.
probably some other funny ones,
I'm going to
too.
say not Sacramento, and here's why. Because Sacramento allows LeBron, in essence, to still live in LA and just commute via
That's a long
Kardashian.
That's a long
by that Kardashian jet, though. The one that,
I think I saw a stat yesterday that the only team that is yet to play on Christmas is the Charlotte Hornets. That they are the least relevant franchise in that respect. Jordan's a great shout.
Yeah, that would be a weird one.
Well, why
Magic.
would it be weird?
Yeah, Orlando.
Charlotte, way more weird of dynamic because you got LeBron versus Jordan, right? And then you got Bronny versus Melo, right? Because they've kind of got their little star wonderkind or whatever. You add this guy, and depending on how good or not good he is, it creates a tension. Attention for attention. Get it?
I think Orlando would be funny.
Whoa!
Splat-
Wait a minute.
That was the computer
my finger
protesting.
drifted. My finger drifted.
Your
Sorry.
fingers were protesting. Your fingers were doing a protest. They said no.
You were
no, Witty.
You were very pleased with that.
Attention for attention.
Yeah.
Come on. That's great. That's wordsmith right there. Here,
You're a writer.
I am.
That's wordsmith.
Yes.
Dan Le Batard.
During one long evening at the Burtons, Robert sent their guests Tennessee Williams and director Joseph Losey running for the door when, in Burton's words, she insulted Rex. She's talking about Rex Harrison. Rex sexually, morally, physically. Lay on the floor in the bar and bark like a dog. Started to masturbate her basset hound.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What's happening?
No. There's also another one. This is the book, and I'm like, how do I, because to Mike's point, he has to know I read the book. Well, okay, listen, I highlighted this part, so you know that I read it.
Stugats.
Have you ever met Mike before today?
No, first meeting.
So your thing is in the first 5 minutes, let's talk about dog masturbation and giraffe.
Because I knew he would be able to relate to the subject matter. He would know what it's
How
like.
so?
Because he's a guest on the show, and the guy's trying to impress him. He goes, okay, what's going to go with? So I figured masturbating a basset hound was definitely something he could at least appreciate.
Weird assumption to make.
Was he right or wrong?
I'm gonna say he was wrong.
Oh.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code DAN for a special offer when you sign up. That's code DAN only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
I want to talk this out in front of the audience because Greg Cody is uncomfortable, and I don't blame him for being uncomfortable. We don't want to be disrespectful. But we have reached this David from God's Breath, and is he the cult leader, or is he? Well, I don't even want to call it a cult. I shouldn't have called it a cult. That's my bad start. Okay, but I want to talk this out on air because we've gotten a hold of him. Greg's here, but he doesn't really want to do this conversation. I told him, let's just talk to the guy and hear him out and see if there's any good content here, because Greg has rekindled and repaired his relationship with the old nemesis, Charles Bricker. Charles Bricker is living with 60 to 80 people, he said, on the Gulf Coast. He invited Greg Cody. I'm covering this correctly, right? He invited Greg Cody to give up all his possessions, and live with Charles Bricker. And David is related to God's Breath. How? He runs the place?
I think so. But are you and Charles good? Because I wasn't certain by the end of the call.
Yeah. Yes. Good being a relative word. Are we? Do we have some sort of an amicable relationship now? I suppose so. I'm certainly not going to be joining any commune of any sort and leaving my life's possessions behind.
Well, I feel like that was, he's asking you to visit, like to see it, right? He wasn't asking you to necessarily
give it a chance. Have an open mind about it.
Here's an idea, though. No, I'm not going to do it.
It's not exactly an idea.
That's not an idea, and it's not the way we can do this. Like, we need it as content. We need humor at least.
Okay. You can't be dismissive
without insulting him. Like,
if that's
I'll do my
energy,
best.
It's not going to go
that's
well.
not gonna work. It's not going to work.
That energy, and also, I can't stress this enough. Dan, you cannot call it a cult because you're the biggest culprit here. You've been calling it a cult all day.
Culprit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
You beat me to it. That's right.
And I'm the show killer.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
I'll be respectful.
Yeah, guys,
Greg, we don't want to disrespect. I don't know. Well, where is this person? Is this person there? Have we that person is not there yet. Okay, we will wait. We will wait because it's David.
David turned over his watch.
From God's Breath. And David is going to, I guess, sell Cody on God's Breath. David, are you there? I'm sorry. I don't know what you've been told here, what information you have. I don't know how it is you've arrived at our doorstep. I guess you're familiar with Charles Bricker. Greg Cody is here. Why is it that you're talking to us, or what is it that you want us to know?
My name is David. I'm contacting you from the Tampa Bay Gulf Coast area, and I'm looking to speak to a Gregory Coates.
Greg Cody is here. Greg Cody is his name.
I'm here. Hi, David.
Mr. Cody, I believe you are friends with my brother Charles Bricker, who has said that you are a lovely soul and that I should reach out to you in regards to your involvement in the God's Breath movement.
Charles and I knew each other a little bit a long time ago. I don't think I have any involvement in the movement, but I'm happy you're happy.
He said to me, he intimated that you may have some desires to transform your life.
I'm very happy with my life. And I'm happy you're happy with yours.
That is not the picture that Charles painted.
Okay.
He said you are a man on the verge of collapse and desperation. Your every cheerful smile covering up a gaping sadness that cuts through your life to the eternal.
Wow. So a guy I hadn't spoken to in like 40 years knows a lot about me, apparently.
Your snark and your sarcasm covers up your need and wants. All I'm telling you, Gregory, is do not be afraid. We have a conversion van driven by Sean, who is a member of God's Breath. He will come by, pick you up. You will drink a warm, soothing drink that will put you in a relaxed, suggestive state. And you will come up to the Gulf Coast region, and I will baptize you.
David, I appreciate that offer. I will decline, but I thank you for your hospitality.
I'm going to say some words to you, and they will seem forceful, but in a year's time, you will thank me for them. You will not decline. You will not decline.
Wow. David?
You will be donating 10% of your income. Oh, shit.
What? David, what happened? The hell's going on here?
What? I'm sorry. That was too ridiculous. I couldn't hold that together.
I don't know what's going on here. I honestly don't.
Sorry.
Is this Bricker again? I don't know what's going on. All right, what's happening here?
I'm sorry. I usually don't break. That was just too insane.
Yes, I would agree with that. This is all right. What's the deal here?
He's fallen out of character, so that is Adam McKay, the filmmaker, who was also Charles Bricker. Yesterday.
Oh my God! All right, Adam, you did a masterful job yesterday, especially with Bricker. That was unbelievable.
It was just too preposterous.
Oh my God!
I'm surprised you didn't break when you said you will not decline.
I didn't know how to respond to something like that. I have never been threatened in that manner.
He did not believe that you had fallen for Charles Bricker. McKay did not believe that you fell for all of that.
Oh, that was legit. That was legit. I had my suspicions afterward, only because it was escalating insanity. Like I was buying everything. The 0-14 driving him into such depths of despair that he actually thought about suicide. It got a little crazy the more he repeatedly was referring to my wife as Snippy and
Lippy
and Snippy and all that, and then the whole cult thing, God's Breath, that got very strange. It made me wonder about the whole thing, but I'm also thinking, well, Charles Bricker, he was quite a bit older than me. He's just turned insane. He's just a crazy person, and I'm going to be polite to him because I'm a polite person.
Oh man, I wish I had held it together on David.
I was getting ready to end it simply because all of a sudden you're threatening me. David is threatening me, and you know, putting a 10% vigorish on my wages with no authority to do so. I don't know what's going on here.
Adam, get out of here. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Thanks, Adam.